Well, good morning, everybody. Today I am starting my walk at the Des Moines Botanical Center because it's kind of the end of the Neil Smith Trail. And my goal today is to take the Karras-Kaul trail that goes from Easter Lake to Carlisle and connect with the Somerset Trail. But like if you look it up online, it says that you can then, like that they connect to the Neil Smith Trail, or it connects to the Neil Smith, and it doesn't. But I thought, well, I'll start where the Neil Smith Trail is and use Google Maps and walk to the Karras-Kaul connector and then walk all the way to Carlisle. So it's about 11 miles one way, and so it'll be about a 22-mile day total, I think. So I'm going to take us to the end of the Neil Smith Trail, and then I'll just keep you updated. But I'm hoping to help you find a route that connects like the Somerset Trail to the Karras-Kaul Trail, and then Easter Lake has a 4-mile loop around it, which is nice. I don't know if I'm going to do all of that or not. And then see how we meander through Des Moines to connect the two. Okay, so here is the beginning of the Neil Smith Trail. And on this side, it begins the John Dorian Trail. So that's what I'm going to take for a little bit. So this here is the University Avenue Bridge. And then so I'm going to walk back toward the Botanical Center and back toward downtown Des Moines. So I'm just trying to connect the two. So I had to walk a little, like a quarter mile north. And just because I want to connect these trails. But I could have just walked from the Botanical Center. But incidentally, if you haven't been to the Botanical Center in Des Moines, Iowa, it's really pretty. But by the way, it's also July 13th, 2025. It is supposed to be 86 degrees today, which is really warm, but it's only 64 degrees now, and the low overnight was like 61. So it's going to be a pretty nice morning. I don't think it's supposed to get real hot till later this afternoon. The other thing that I want to talk about is I was sick all week. I had, I don't know, like a virus. I had no energy and my body ached, but I didn't have any respiratory symptoms. So anyway, so I went for just a short 12-mile walk yesterday and just took my time. And but I wanted to do another walk today, but you can just, I'm breathless too, which is really weird. And I noticed that in my video from last Sunday, I was breathless. And I think that's all part of this virus. So anyway, today is going to be about a 22-mile long walk, but I'm going to take my time, and then I think I'll be okay. Oh, there is a good view of the skate park over there. I think we have one of the biggest skate parks in the United States. And there's a pretty view of downtown. I do like those trails that are away from the city, but Des Moines is such a neat city, and it's really, I've lived here all my life, and it's just really beautiful. There's the skate park. Just gonna take you through this skate park really quick. It's the Lordson Skate Park. So then you take a left on 2nd Avenue and follow it downtown for a while. So there's some cute lofts, and there's that cool statue where it's kind of cantilevered. It's neat. I really love Des Moines, and I've lived here all my life, like I said, and it never used to look like this. So the city planners of Des Moines have done such a wonderful job. Oh, and this is the World Food Prize Gardens. So I want to show you this really quick because it's really beautiful. And then this is Court Avenue, so if I would have come down yesterday, I would have had to navigate through all sorts of people for the Des Moines Farmers Market. And then down there is the old courthouse, but we don't use it anymore. Now, the road I'm on, 2nd Avenue, parallels the Des Moines Riverwalk bike path. So I suppose you could take that, and I don't know why my phone isn't taking me on that, or my GPS, but it might be because there was some construction down there. So maybe it's closed. And here is Principal Park. And when I was growing up, it was called Sec Taylor Stadium. And then, I don't know, when I was in high school, I think it changed. Oh, there's a 5K going on. I was wondering why there was music and people there. So I can't read that. Something Bear 5K. So that's fun. And then there's the Miracle League field. I don't know if you all have Miracle League things, but when I was a teacher, I was in charge of Key Club, which is the younger version of the Kiwanis, and so we would volunteer to play softball with kids that were mentally and physically challenged, and that was just really, really a fun and cool experience. So that's what the Miracle League fields are. And there's a nice shot of the Des Moines River. It's a beautiful morning, even though it is a little humid. Okay, I didn't realize this, but 2nd Avenue just turns into Indianola Road, so then I just keep going straight. So Indianola Avenue is this big uphill, and then eventually you come down to the intersection at Southeast 14th, and you stay on Indianola. So I'm at the Ewing Dog Park, and I was supposed to keep going straight to Easter Lake, but I see that there's a bike trail, and I try to look closer at my map, and I think this bike trail goes to Easter Lake, and I would rather take a bike trail. So anyway, this goes underneath Indianola Avenue, and we'll see where it ends up. Okay, well, I think this is the Ackelson Trail, and I just want to give a shout out to Ed Gates. He talked to me for a little bit, and I asked him a couple questions. And so if you want to check out Ed, he is on Facebook, and his page is called Raining Hedgehogs. And he and his wife, they what's that term? Upscale, up something, jewelry. So they make jewelry. Okay, so I'm so glad I took this way. It's a lot prettier than just walking along the road into Easter Lake. So you can see that neat bridge. I learned to drive at Easter Lake. When I was young, you could just kind of drive around here really slowly. And so this is where I learned to drive. And then a lot of kids in the Des Moines area, they learn to drive at the fairgrounds. But just a really pretty area. Easter Lake, they've done a lot here. I mean, these bridges were never here. And here's another bridge. So when I was growing up, these bike paths were not here. I don't know how new this is, but probably within the last 10 years. And even a couple years ago, they dredged, or the lake, and had to do some work on that, I guess. It's just a really pretty area. So I went through the Easter Lake. I got there, and then you get to Southeast 34th Street and Easter Lake Drive, and it keeps going straight here. So I'm assuming this is the trail, even though it is not marked. Okay, so far, this trail, look, it's really beautiful. It has all this corn, and it's so tall right now for July 13th. But it has said the Easter Lake Spine Trail, but now it says the Karras-Kaul, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, Karras-Kaul connector, and I'm at mile 1/4. So anyway, so this is the Karras-Kaul, and I looked them up. Karras, and like Mr. Karras and Mr. Kaul were the founders of RAGBRAI. So that is who this trail is named after, this connector. So anyway, it's only like 9:40 or something. My turnaround time is 10:30. So we'll see how far we get into Carlisle before I feel like I better turn around. It is pretty warm, and it's not very breezy, so kind of warm and humid. Wow. So I come up over this hill, and there you see the balloons, because in Indianola there's the National Balloon Museum thing. But then look in the distance, it almost looks like we have mountains, but look at the big hills there. That's really pretty. Sometimes Iowa surprises me. By the way, I have not mentioned that I heard about this Karras-Kaul connector from my avid viewer, Denny. So thank you, Denny, because this connector is really beautiful. And so as I was reading about it, they talked about how you could go all the way from Indianola to the Neil Smith Trail. And I thought, is that really true? But it is true. So I found that out today, and I would not have even thought about it if it weren't for Denny. So thanks, Denny. So now I'm going to be walking under Highway 65, which is the bypass. So I'm not quite sure where under the bypass I'm going, but this is cool. I didn't even know the trail went under here. Look at these cattails. They're so pretty. So it's a little noisy right now. We are just following along Highway 65, and it's still pretty, surrounded by cornfields, and there's Carlisle up ahead. So that's kind of neat that you can see that destination. I don't think I'm going to make it to the Somerset trailhead because I want to have a strict turnaround time of 10:30, but we'll just see how far I can get. But there's the Carlisle exit. So then we'll be following along Highway 5. Okay, so I'm coming into Carlisle. So there's a nature park 0.3 miles, and I'm just gonna go there and have a snack. And there's a restroom there too. And then there's Casey's, but it's across the street. So I don't know, if you can get to it without crossing Highway 5. Then downtown Carlisle is 2.9 more miles, and then you would hit the Somerset Trail, and then you could go to Indianola, and which I'm not going to do. So I'm not going to do the 2.9 miles into Carlisle either. I've already walked about 11 miles, and it's 10:30. It's just going to get hotter, although it is manageable. But I think once I get up to this little picnic table, I can rest for a minute and then start my way back. And I'm totally satisfied with a 22-mile day, especially after being sick last week. So I'm at the Scotch Ridge Nature Park. There's restrooms and a picnic table, which is great. Okay, well, I lost my sound. It didn't stay charged, so I know it's kind of loud, but I wish I could have made it to the Somerset Trail, but it took 3 hours and 15 minutes for me to walk about 11 and a half to 12 miles. So it's going to be more like a 23 to 24 mile day. And I don't want to get stuck out here in the heat and humidity. So I'm turning back. But really the point was to see if I really could, or if one could really walk or ride from Indianola all the way to the Neil Smith Trail. And yes, it can be done. Even through Des Moines, you just follow Indianola Avenue and it has a sidewalk. So, and if you're on a bike, you could walk or ride on the street. So anyway, mission accomplished. So I will make that connection another time. Maybe I'll start at Easter Lake and then go to the Somerset Trail and back or something. So anyway, I'm heading back now. I'll let you know if anything interesting comes up on my way back. I think this is a beautiful view too. Those are soybeans, just in case you've never seen that. So we have corn and soybeans are the rotating crops. But this is just really pretty, I think. Really beautiful Iowa. Well, if you've made it this far, I would like to implore you to like and subscribe to my channel. I have 150 subscribers now, and that's really fun. And so if you like my content, then please like and subscribe, just so I can brag to my children that I'm famous. Look at all that color. It just occurred to me that I could have circled Easter Lake and gone the other way, but I'm just heading back the same way I came just because I wasn't thinking. Okay, I'm on mile 17 or 18 out of, I think, 23. And my feet are hurting, and they hurt a little bit yesterday too, and I only walked 12. So it's been only 4 months since I've bought new shoes, but I think I've probably walked close to 500 miles. So I think in another video I said, you know, buy expensive shoes and get new ones every 6 months or 500 miles. So I think that's what it is. I don't think it's my flu. So anyway, I'm gonna buy some new shoes, and I think that'll help my foot pain. But if you're ever wondering like when you need new shoes, if your feet just start hurting and they don't normally hurt, then just get new shoes. I know it's loud, but this is my view coming into Des Moines, walking downhill now on Indianola Avenue. I'm on mile 19 and a half or 20, so I just have about 3 or 3.5 miles left. I forgot to mention that the south side of downtown is kind of Little Italy for Des Moines. A lot of Italians settled here, but now everyone is spread out. The river is really high right now. We've had a lot of rain. Okay, I'm taking the principal river walk to just get a little bit of a different view. And then I'm probably going to cross on a different bridge. Well, I am almost back. I'll show you where I am. There's the bridge that we crossed before, and the Botanical Center's on the other side. But I think this walk was 23 miles. I don't know for sure. I can post what my heart app or health app says, but I don't know if that's correct. So anyway, this was super fun. I walked from the Botanical Center downtown Des Moines all the way to Carlisle and back. So that's pretty cool. If I would have driven that, it'd probably take me a half an hour to get there and a half an hour to get back. So that's cool. And let's see, this took me, with including breaks and everything, 6.5 hours. So if you're just curious how long it took me to do this, 6.5 hours to go 23 miles. So not super fast, and it is pretty hot and sunny. But overall, a really good walk. So thanks for walking with me, and have a great week.